Let us for a few minutes think of Sri Ramakrishna and pray for the peace and joy of the whole humanity. Shanti, 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 Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Sthapakaya Dharmasya Sarvadharma Swarupine Sthapakaya Dharmasya Sarvadharma Swarupine Avatara Varishtaya Ramakrishna Yate Namah. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma mritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us bow down to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God Incarnate. Let us pray to Him to lead us from unreal to the real, to lead us from the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. We have been discussing some of the points said by Sri Ramakrishna in the Gospel, chapter 27. To the question by a sadhaka, what's the way? Sri Ramakrishna gave a straight reply: faith in the Guru's words. One attains God by following the Guru's instructions step by step. It is like reaching an object by following the trail of a thread. That's what Sri Ramakrishna said. If one could have that tremendous faith in the Guru, one is sure to reach the goal of life. One is sure to be liberated from all sufferings and bondage. So here Sri Ramakrishna is suggesting that we should cherish remarkable faith in the Guru. It means that the Guru occupies the central place in our spiritual unfoldment and final illumination. In the last class I was telling about there are three types of Guru. One is the divine Guru. The second one is the inner Guru. The third one, the human Guru. We were discussing about some of the points regarding the function of the divine Guru. The incarnation plays the role of the divine Guru. Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. We offer salutations to Lord Krishna, the teacher of the universe. So the incarnations come to re-establish dharma. How does he do it? By starting a new spiritual tradition. He sets forth sampradaya. He gives proper direction to the spiritual aspirants. Shri Krishna tells Arjuna that yoga was first taught by him to the sun god. The sun god then taught that yoga to the Manu, the first human being. From him, the knowledge was handed down to posterity by a succession of teachers, and over the period of time, it was gradually lost. So the avatar's mission on earth is to rejuvenate dharma by resuscitating this divine wisdom, and for this the incarnation starts a new spiritual tradition. What I said, sampradaya, of which he becomes the highest teacher. So when we offer our salutations to Guru, we offer flower uttering the name Parameshti Guru. The supreme teacher. It is in this sense Lord Krishna, Lord Christ, Lord Buddha, Shankara, Sri Ramakrishna, they are all regarded as the world teachers. They come not for the sake of a selected group. No. These incarnations, they are concerned about the spiritual welfare of the whole world. So, they set a series of steps to be followed so that whoever follows them would receive the highest spiritual knowledge, would be free from all sufferings in the world, would attain liberation. So that is the purpose of the divine Guru. And then he trains a band of spiritual aspirants. He blesses them with the spiritual knowledge so that in turn they should be able to transmit the spiritual knowledge to the people at large. Swami Vivekananda came here to America just for this sake of imparting that spiritual knowledge the knowledge of the Upanishads, which was unknown to the people. For the first time he came here to give that spiritual knowledge. For the first time he opened the eyes of the people. Look, why are you so miserable? Why are you so hopeless? You are not to be that way, because you are potentially divine. All this suffering is because of your ignorance about your true nature. Your true nature is you are divine. For some reason, you have forgotten that. Now you have to get back to that original state. How to do that? Practice this way, you will get it. That's how Swami Vivekananda gave the message. So, Swami Vivekananda is considered as an acharya, the spiritual teacher of the world in the modern times. So much about the divine Guru. Of course, you can talk even more on this aspect. The second type of Guru, which I had mentioned in my last class, the inner Guru. All these Gurus are very important in our unfoldment of life. The more reverence, the more inclination, the more contact we establish with these Gurus, the better for us. Because spiritual life demands your 100% practical life. To be frank with you. There is no question of 50% worldly life, 50% spiritual life. You can't have spiritual unfoldment fully if you cherish that idea of 50% in the world, 50% in the spiritual realm. You can't sail in the two boats. Either you sit in the worldly boat or you sit in the spiritual boat. You can't put one leg in one boat, another leg in another boat and want to sail. So, what I mean to say, the Guru plays a very important role in the spiritual life. The more you become aware of it, it is good for you. In the Eternal Companion, Swami Brahmanandaji, the first president of the Ramakrishna Mission, the spiritual son of Sri Ramakrishna, the spiritual dynamo, he said, know this, there is no greater Guru than your own mind. M-I-N-D. Well, for some reason the mind has become impure. So it is not playing the role of a Guru. So we are in trouble. So we are in search of the external Guru. So we are in search of people, holy people, so that we may find some way. That's why Sri Ramakrishna tells again and again, what is needed most is first purify your mind before talking anything about spiritual life, before talking anything about spiritual unfoldment, before talking samadhi. First purify yourself. Remove all the impurities blocking your way in the mind. Keep the mind clean, spotless. Then you will see the wonders. Then you will see how the power of Guru works through that purified mind. So Sri Ramakrishna tells, you have to purify your mind by prayer, by contemplation. Then you'll be able to have direction from within. Even in our daily duties, this inner Guru will guide you and will continue to help you until the goal is reached. Though the spiritual knowledge may come from the divine Guru or the human Guru, it is ultimately the aspirant's own mind that has to receive and assimilate it. Assimilation is important. The ordinary mind can know only physical objects and sensations. Even if this mind receives spiritual instructions, it can't experience the truth or reality. In order to know spiritual truths, one needs a divine eye, divya chakshus, or inner eye. It's a special eye, E-Y-E. Referring to this, Swami Brahmananda ji again says in the Eternal Companion, behind this mind of ours, there is a subtle spiritual mind. Everyone has that spiritual mind. One is this gross mind, which operates in this world, which involves you in all sorts of things in this world, which makes you more and more miserable all the time, which makes you cry and weep. But there is another mind, the subtle mind, that is spiritual mind. How does it exist? It exists in seed form. In seed form. So through the practice of contemplation, through the practice of prayer, through the practice of japa, repetition of the divine name, this mind is developed. This mind means the spiritual mind which was in the seed form would be developed. And with this development, a new vision opens up and the aspirant realizes, experiences many spiritual truths. What is meant here is the buddhi or the intuitive faculty which lies dormant in most of the people, it gets awakened through purification and prayers. There's a well-known Gayatri prayer. All these prayers have got special significance in our spiritual realm. These prayers are meant to awaken this dormant intuition. Lord Krishna calls this awakened faculty as Sattvika Buddhi. In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, verse number 30, Lord Krishna says, Pravrittincha nivrittincha karya karye bhaya bhaye bandham mokshancha yaveti buddhissa partha sattviki. That which clearly distinguishes between action and inaction, what ought to be done and what ought not to be done, what is to be feared and what is not to be feared, what leads to bondage and what leads to liberation, that intellect is Sattvika. Lord Krishna has said this very clearly. So, we should develop that Sattvic mind. Once this is awakened, once you are well established in Sattvic mind, then that Sattvic mind acts as the inner guru and guides you in the spiritual path. However, this awakening takes a long time. Until then, the aspirant has to be very cautious about the workings of his own mind. We should become aware of two dangers involved in the concept of inner guru. There are two dangers here. We should be aware of them. One is to confuse it with reason. Reading and analysis are functions of ordinary mind. Knowledge derived through it need not always be true. For reasoning, when practiced by an ignorant or impure mind, can lead one astray. The second danger is to make one's own unconscious desires and fantasies for the divine voice or divine command. A good deal of misery has been caused by these fanatics who mistook the promptings of their impure and confused minds for divine inspiration. It is not so easy to hear the divine voice, and the awakening of the inner guru is usually not possible without intense practice of purification and prayer. Therefore, the spiritual aspirants, for them it is safer during the early stages to depend upon the guidance of an external human guru than on one's own impure mind. In the beginning, it is necessary that one should become associated with the external guru, not to depend upon one's own mind, which is not yet purified. Later stage, mind becomes inner guru, then only you can depend upon it. Not till then. Now coming to the third category, the human guru. Who is this human guru? Guru in the human form, where we see many gurus in the world operating upon disseminating spiritual ideas all over the world. There are so many types of gurus giving spiritual ideas to the people. The human guru is the agent who awakens the inner guru and brings about the union of Jivatma with the Paramatma, the individual spirit with the Supreme Spirit. Though this is the main work of the Guru, he actually performs several functions in the life of disciple. He is closely connected with the spiritual development of the disciple. The first is to instruct the aspirant about his spiritual ideal and the means of attaining it. In the path of devotion, this means helping the aspirant to fix his mind on his Ishta Devata, chosen deity, through a technique of meditation which the Guru himself had practiced and tested in his own life. To the beginner, spiritual life is a wholly unknown territory. And before he attempts to travel, he needs the guidance of one who has already traversed it. So here, what does a Guru do? He removes the darkness of ignorance about the path from the mind of the disciple. He assures the disciple, don't worry. Don't lose hope. So Guru helps a lot the disciple. Actually, the word Guru is coined. Gukaro andhakarastu rukarastanivartakaha andhakara nivartyatu Guru rityabhidhiyate. That means Guru means one who removes the darkness of ignorance. He is called Guru. Is it not enough if the aspirant himself chooses an ideal and learns a technique of meditation by reading the books? Why external Guru is required at all? The disadvantage of such an endeavor is that it does not generate faith in the reality of the goal and the possibility of attaining it. So what does Guru do? He does not merely inform, he instills faith in the disciple. Faith is not just a simple belief. It is the orientation of the soul towards an ultimate goal. It is the awakening of the soul from its sleep of ignorance. This orientation, this awakening comes only When the mystical words issuing from the lips of a guru touch and inflame the heart of the aspirant. The faith of a beginner in spiritual life is seldom stable. It ebbs and flows. The continuity of aspiration and practice is broken by periods of sluggishness, dejection, dryness, and despair. So, the disciple's faith is shaky. Faith is not well established. This happens only to those who don't have close contact with the Guru, those who maintain a living contact with their Guru find a perennial fountain of faith and aspiration constantly flowing within them. The need of Guru's presence and guidance are invaluable. Many aspirants, they are too inexperienced to understand the workings of their own minds and the pitfalls on the path of striving. Intense practice often releases forces which many aspirants may not know how to manipulate. To monkey with the hidden powers of the mind and the psychic high tension wires is as risky as playing with fire. There is a famous instance we find in Great Master. There were two spiritual aspirants practicing spiritual disciplines. In course of time they got spiritual powers. Once Sri Ramakrishna had gone to Shambhu Malik garden. After spending some time, he was to return to Dakshineshwar temple. It was quite dark. There was no lampposts on the way. It was pitch dark. How to go? Somebody has to bring the light. So he was just thinking about that. Suddenly one spiritual aspirant came forward and said, "Master, you don't have to worry for the light. Look." He raised his armpit. He raised his shoulder. From his armpit, a blazing light issued forth, which lighted the whole pathway up to the Dakshineshwar temple. The whole pathway was lighted up. Brilliant light. Sri Ramakrishna told him, "Well, why are you using this power? The more you use this power, the more you lose your spiritual vigor. Don't do that. Till you realize the highest truth, don't run after these things." Then Sri Ramakrishna himself tells, "I withdrew that power which he had." For his development, Sri Ramakrishna tells that very clearly. In order to see that he improves, goes higher up, I withdrew that power. which was distracting him. Every now and then he would raise up his arm. There was another person who had developed a power, psychic power. What is that power? He could become invisible. It is not a story. It all happened. He could become invisible. He was very much elated to have that power. What? Can I become invisible? True. But what happened? Because the mind was not purified enough, because there was some desires, some dusty corner of the mind, he began to come in contact with a girl in a rich man's family. He could land in the apartment of the girl, invisible. He established contact with that girl, and that was the end of his spirituality. The mind was degraded. The mind which was soaring high just dropped down, broken into pieces. He was completely lost. Sri Ramakrishna warned him about that, but then it took some time for that aspirant to understand what Sri Ramakrishna had told him. For some reason, finally he became terribly dejected. He simply came running, literally running from Calcutta to Dakshineshwar temple. Several miles. Running and running and running. When he reached the temple, he was totally exhausted. He had no clothes on his body, just a small towel, bathing towel he had on his body. That's all. He came running and weeping in order to see Sri Ramakrishna. Where is Sri Ramakrishna? I want to see him. I am urgently in need of the master. But the master had passed away by that time. Finally, it is said that he was not known afterwards. Where did he go? Some say he went to forest. Anyway, the story goes like that. So, what is the use of such powers? There was one person came to Ganges. It happened in America. I had been to Ganges in my usual visits. One person had come there, some followers were there, and those followers introduced that person to me, and they were just praising that person. You may call him a holy person. It's all right. And he was talking, then immediately he said, Swamiji, look here, I will show you something. So he just rubbed his hand about 2-3 seconds, and then he put his palm on my nose. How do you smell it? Please smell. Most beautiful fragrance I smelled. From where did it come? It came from nowhere. Power. There's so many powers out there. What is that? Have you realized God? Have you seen God? That question is not answered. So, why are you bothered about those things? So, one has to pay primary attention towards purifying one's mind. Purification of the mind is very important. That's what Sri Ramakrishna wants. Those who come to Vedanta, those who come as students of Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother and Swamiji, the first priority is to purify your mind. Nothing else. Let God relation stay afterwards. Let it come afterwards. First of all, purify your mind. Then only you are building up that infrastructure. Then only be able to have stability in the mind, and finally you will have wonderful results. The second function of the Guru is to awaken the power of spiritual intuition in the disciple. It is stated in a hymn on the Guru. Ajnana timirandhasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshur unmilitam yena tasmai shri gurave namaha. The preceptor opens the eye of the disciple, blinded by ignorance, by applying the collyrium of knowledge. Generally, we all open our eyes, our outer eyes. You know how to open them. The ordinary teacher opens the ordinary mind. The spiritual preceptor opens the inner eye or the divine eye, E-Y-E, eye. This divine eye, the power of intuition lying dormant in all people, that the spiritual preceptor opens up. This inner eye cannot be opened without spiritual power, without the quickening impulse, as Swami Vivekananda calls it. In his talks on Bhakti Yoga, Swami Vivekananda explains this quickening impulse cannot be derived from books. The soul can only receive impulses from another soul and from nothing else. We may study books all our lives. We may become very intellectual. But in the end, we find we have not developed at all spiritually. In spite of all knowledge occupying your mind, you are totally ignorant about spirituality. The person from whose soul such impulse comes is called Guru, the teacher. Swami Vivekananda tells in his complete works, volume number 3. Now, how does the Guru transmit this quickening impulse to the disciple? How does he do that? He does this through a process called Diksha or initiation. There is an Upanishad by name Tejo Bindu Upanishad. It tells that initiation is of 3 types. One is Anava. Second one is Shakta. Third one is Shambhava. I am explaining all these 3. What is Anava? In this type of initiation, Guru communicates a mantra to the disciple. And if the disciple repeats it with faith and purity of mind, this leads to the gradual unfoldment of his spiritual potential. So this category of initiation is called Anava. The second one, Shakta. Here, Guru transmits power directly by a touch. The third category of initiation, Shambhava. Here, Guru gives the highest illumination. How? By his mere wish. That is, Sankalpa Matra. Sankalpa. He just wished it, it happened. According to the Hindu scriptures, everyone has three kinds of powers. One is Jnana Shakti, the power of knowledge. Another is Kriya Shakti, the power of action. And the third is Ichha Shakti, the power of will. The three types of initiation mentioned just now refer to the transmission of these three powers of the Guru respectively. Well, time is already up, so I have to stop here. How Sri Ramakrishna has very clearly stated, your initiation, your spiritual life starts by your devotion to the Guru. Let me stop here and continue in the next class. Page 541. The Mukherjee brothers left the porch. They went to the garden for a stroll. Master said to M, I wonder whether the Mukherjees have taken offense at my jokes. Master Maharaj said, why should they? Captain said that you are like a child. After realizing God, a man becomes childlike. Master, yes. Yes, and sometimes he behaves like a boy, and sometimes like a young man. As a boy, he is very light-hearted. He may use frivolous language. As a young man, he is like a roaring lion while teaching others. You had better explain my state of mind to the Mukherjees. Master Maharaj said, I don't have to do that. Haven't they the sense to see it? Again the master became light-hearted with the boys. Then he said to one of the devotees, today is the new moon, go to the Kali temple in the evening. It was dusk. They heard the sound of gongs, cymbals, and other instruments used in the evening service in the temples. The master said to Baburam, come with me to the Kali temple. He and Baburam went toward the temple, accompanied by M. At the sight of Harish sitting on the porch, the master said, what is this? Is he in ecstasy? Going through the courtyard, the master and the devotees stopped a minute in front of the Radhakanta temple to watch the worship. Then they proceeded to the shrine of Kali. With folded hands, the master prayed to the Divine Mother, O Mother, O Divine Mother, O Brahmamayi. Reaching the raised platform in front of the shrine, he bowed low before the image. The arati was going on. He entered the shrine and fanned the image. The evening worship was over. The devotees bowed before the deity. It was the night of the new moon. The master was in a spiritual mood. Gradually his mood deepened into intense ecstasy. He returned to his room, reeling like a drunkard and holding it to Baburam's hand. He returned to his room, reeling like a drunkard and holding to Baburam's hand. A lamp was lighted on the west porch. The master sat there a few minutes, chanting Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. The other mystic syllables of the tantras. also he chanted. He was still completely absorbed in divine fervor. He said to the Divine Mother, Mother, that I should first speak and you then act? Oh, that's nonsense. What's the meaning of talk? It is nothing but a sign. One man says, I shall eat. Again another says, no, I won't hear of it. Well, Mother, suppose I had said I would not eat. Wouldn't I still feel hungry? Is it ever possible that you should listen only when one prays aloud and not when one feels an inner longing? You are what you are. Then why do I speak? Why do I pray? I do as you make me do. Oh, what confusion! Why do you make me reason? As Sri Ramakrishna was thus talking to God, the devotees listened, wonderstruck to his words. The Master's eyes fell upon them. We shall stop here. Any questions? Any observations, comments? Can tell something? That's true. No, Guru has the power to eliminate all the desires which might come on the way of spiritual path. Guru has that power and he can destroy them. But only from the aspirant's point of view, from the disciple's point of view, the aspiration should be strong. If that is not there, then Guru cannot help. And the idea is, as I said, Guru has many powers. I told you, one is by giving mantra, another is by touch, another is by sankalpa, by wish one can do. But normally the Guru doesn't exercise that special power of transmission because he wants the aspirant to make little effort. In fact, there is an incident in the life in Sri Ramakrishna's great master. In his life we find there is an incident. Once what happened, Swami Vivekananda and Vedanta, they were all lying down in a room. And Swami Vivekananda, a young person, he was full of spiritual vigor and he is a power by himself. An idea came to him, why not I test my spiritual power? That idea simply came to him. So by his side, Abhedanda was lying down. It was afternoon. Just they were napping. So without his knowledge, without telling Abhedanda what he would do, Swami Vivekananda wanted to see how his power works. So he just touched him. That created a great sensation in Abhedanda's body, like a huge electric shock he felt. He felt a tremendous spiritual power was entering into his system. He was completely taken aback. On the other side, Sri Ramakrishna was becoming grave. He became serious. What? Why this Narendra did like that? He called him and said, look, he should not do that way. Why did you change his course of direction? He was going in a particular way and by your act, you have put a kind of obstruction. You should not do that. Never do like that. Let everyone go in one's own way. Help them in their way. That's Sri Ramakrishna's teaching. Nobody has to imitate anybody else. You go in your own way. Let she go in her way. Let the third person go in his own way. That means your task is to guide them in their path, in their particular path. Don't change their course unless it is very important and very special. Normally speaking, allow them to go in their own way. Help them so that they can come forward. So, create an atmosphere so that they can do some effort. That's what Sri Ramakrishna did to all these direct disciples. He could have given realization to every one of them. He did give, no doubt. But he gave the glimpse of the spiritual glory and told them, you should do sadhana. He tells them very clearly, you must do sadhana, you must do spiritual practices. He is telling to direct disciples. And each one of them, how much practice they did. How much practice they did. That's why you find all the teachings have got tremendous spiritual value. That's why I keep on telling, you read Ramakrishna, Vivekananda literature more seriously. Don't take it in a light-hearted way. Read them seriously. Why I am using the word serious? Because spiritual life is a serious life. So, if you are contemplating upon, if you are expecting some wonderful results in your life, you should give serious thoughts to your practices. So, reading Ramakrishna Vivekananda, become thorough with them, thorough. Then you will be able to understand all the problems confronting your path. So, each one has led the life and then given the teachings. So, that's why the teachings have got so much power. It's not simply talk, it's not simply theory. Well, let us stop here. Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean and quenched that mighty forest fire, worldly lust, raging furiously within. O name, stream down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its cup to knowledge of thyself. O self, drowned deep in the waves of His bliss, tasting His nectar at every step, bathing in His name that bath for weary souls. Various are thy names, O Lord, in each and every name thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy, how huge then is my wretchedness, who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass. Be patient and forbearing like a tree. Take no honor to thyself, give honor to all. Chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue, the playthings of lust or the toys of fame. As many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for Thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is Thy servant, O sweet one. In Thy mercy, consider him as dust beneath Thy feet. Oh, how I long for the day when an instant's separation from Thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years, for my heart burns away with its desire, and the world without Thee is a heartless void. Prostrate at Thy feet let me be in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of Thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of Thy presence, though it tears my soul asunder. O Thou who stealest the hearts of Thy devotees, do with me what Thou wilt, for Thou art my heart's beloved, Thou and Thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers, may all realize what is good, may all be actuated by noble thoughts, may all rejoice everywhere. May all be happy, may all be free from disease, may all realize what is good, may none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous,
May the virtues reign tranquility. May the tranquil be free from bonds. May the freed make others free. May good betide all people. May the sovereign righteously rule the earth. May all beings ever attain what is good. May the worlds be prosperous and happy. May the clouds pour rain in time. May the earth be blessed with crops. May all countries be freed from calamity. May holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works, be satisfied. For he being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased. He being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied.